They said you couldn't do it. They said you were dreaming too big, aiming too high, reaching too far. The same people who once clapped for you now whisper behind your back. The same voices that once cheered your ideas now question your reality. You can feel their doubt like smoke in your lungs, burning you quietly, filling your chest with something heavy. But here's the truth. Their disbelief isn't your problem. It's your fuel. You can't is just a spark. And one day, those sparks will set your entire world on fire. You must prove everyone wrong. Not for revenge, not for ego, but because deep down, you know there's something inside you that refuses to be ordinary. You weren't built to blend in. You weren't born to stay silent in the back row while others live the life you dreamed of. You are here for a reason, and every person who doubted you just made that reason louder. Think about it. Every great story begins the same way, with doubt. They said Edison failed 1,000 times. They said Jordan wasn't good enough for his high school team. They said no one would ever believe in someone like Oprah. The world has always been allergic to vision. They laugh at dreamers until the dreamers win. And when that day comes, those same people will call it destiny, but you'll know it wasn't destiny, it was discipline. Because discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears. Motivation fades fast. It's like a match in the wind. But discipline is a fire you build brick by brick, morning after morning, failure after failure. It's the promise you make to yourself when no one's watching. It's getting up when the world expects you to stay down. It's showing up when everyone else already quit. You will be misunderstood. You will be called arrogant, delusional, unrealistic. They will say, "Who does he think he is?" And maybe for a while you'll start to believe them. Maybe you'll look in the mirror and ask yourself, what if they're right? That's when you must remember this greatness doesn't fit in the language of average minds. If they don't understand you, you're probably doing something right. You'll lose people. Some will walk away because your vision makes them uncomfortable. Some will stop calling because your growth reminds them of their own excuses. Let them go. They are not your enemy, but they are not your destiny either. You can't carry everyone to the top of the mountain. Some are meant to stay in the valley. You owe them love, not your potential. There will be nights when you lie awake staring at the ceiling, wondering if it's worth it, when your heart feels heavier than your dreams, when you want to give up so badly that even your bones whisper, quit. But remember, pain is temporary. Regret is permanent. One day the storm will pass, and the only question left will be, did you keep going? You don't need permission to rise. You don't need validation to shine. The world doesn't hand out approval slips to people who dare to change it. You have to give yourself the green light. That's what every champion does. They start before they're ready. They move before they're sure. They bet everything on the one thing they can control: effort. There's power in being doubted. There's power in being underestimated. When no one believes in you, you become dangerous because you stop performing for applause. You start performing for purpose. You start chasing the vision, not the validation. And that's when the shift happens, when the underdog becomes unstoppable. So when you feel like you're behind, when it seems like everyone else is winning while you're still crawling, remind yourself slow progress is still progress. Every rep, every page, every hour, it's building something they can't see yet. They'll see it when it's too late. They'll see it when the foundation you've been laying in silence finally shakes the ground they're standing on. Because silence builds empires. The grind doesn't make noise. It whispers. It whispers when you wake up before sunrise, when you stay up after midnight, when you're tired, broke, and frustrated, but still doing the work. That whisper says, keep going. That whisper says, one more. And if you listen long enough, that whisper becomes a roar. You must prove everyone wrong, not by arguing, not by posting, not by explaining, by becoming undeniable. You don't win debates. You win in results. You win by showing up every single day until the world has no choice but to notice. Because success doesn't need announcements. It makes noise on its own. And when they finally come around, when they start saying, I always knew you could do it, just smile. You won't need to remind them of the nights you cried, the mornings you bawled, the years you were invisible. The results will speak louder than anything you could ever say. This journey will break you before it builds you. It will test your faith, your patience, your sanity. But every scar will have a story. Every wound will whisper, I made it. Because you didn't just survive, you evolved. You became the version of yourself that doesn't need approval anymore. The version that's driven by purpose, not praise. So, when they doubt you, thank them. When they laugh at you, let them. When they walk away, wave back. Because every rejection is redirection. Every insult is information. Every failure is foundation. Keep your head down. Keep your heart strong. Keep building in silence. Because one day, you won't have to say a word. Your success will speak every sentence they tried to silence. Prove them wrong, not by becoming what they expect, but by becoming everything they said you couldn't. There comes a point when the noise gets so loud you can't ignore it anymore. People's opinions echo like sirens in your mind. You're wasting your time. You'll never make it. Be realistic. You hear it from friends, from family, from strangers online, and sometimes the cruelest voice is your own. That's the moment you stand at a crossroads. You can surrender to doubt, or you can choose defiance. Defiance is not arrogance. It's the quiet decision that says, I will not let their fears define my fate. Because most people don't doubt you out of hate. They doubt you out of habit. They project their own limitations onto you and call it advice. They measure your dreams with the ruler of their own fear. And if you're not careful, you'll start shrinking your vision to fit their comfort zone. Don't do it. Never dim your light to make others feel less blind. Every time someone says you can't, it's a mirror showing you their own ceiling. Let them keep their limits. You have none. But proving them wrong isn't about standing on a stage and shouting, I told you so. It's about silently transforming into something they can't recognize. It's about showing up so consistently, so relentlessly, that one day they look at you and realize they were wrong about you and maybe about themselves. You see, pain changes people. Struggle shapes character. When life hits you with failure, betrayal, or loss, you have two options. You can become bitter or you can become better. Most people choose bitterness. They sit in their wounds, replaying the story of how the world wasn't fair. But the rare ones, the ones who rise, they turn their wounds into wisdom. They let the pain sharpen them. They use heartbreak as heat, rejection as fuel, and criticism as clarity. You are one of those rare ones. You are not here to repeat history. You are here to rewrite it. You won't get overnight results. You won't wake up one day magically successful. This is not a movie montage. It's real life, and in real life, the grind is ugly. You'll have weeks where nothing works, where progress feels invisible. You'll question everything. You'll compare yourself to people who started after you, but seem miles ahead. You'll feel like quitting not once, but 100 times. And every time the voice of doubt will whisper, see, I told you so. That's when you look that voice dead in the eye and say, watch me. Because success is not always about speed, it's about stamina. It's not the one who starts fastest who wins. It's the one who refuses to stop, even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching. The real test isn't in the spotlight, it's in the shadows. When no one's clapping, when no one's liking, sharing, or noticing, that's where champions are built. The greatest revenge isn't success, it's peace. When you finally reach the place where you don't even need to prove them wrong anymore. You're too focused on proving yourself right. You start realizing that their voices don't matter because the only person you were really fighting was your old self. The one who doubted, hesitated, procrastinated. The one who thought average was enough. The real victory is becoming the person who doesn't need validation to keep moving. But let's be honest, it's not easy. There will be nights you cry in silence, mornings you wake up exhausted, days when nothing makes sense. You'll feel invisible. You'll feel forgotten. You'll feel like the universe is against you. But I promise you it's not. The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Every delay is discipline. Every detour is direction. Every setback is setting up the story that one day will inspire someone else to keep going. You don't climb a mountain by sprinting. You climb by taking one painful, deliberate step at a time. You fall, you slip, you bleed, but you keep climbing. That's what greatness looks like, not perfection, but persistence. Because here's the truth, no one remembers the comfortable. The world celebrates those who walked through fire and didn't burn. The ones who faced fear, failure, and loneliness and still didn't quit. One day people will ask you, how did you do it? And you'll smile because you remember the nights you were terrified, but still moved forward. You'll remember the mornings when no one believed in you, but you showed up anyway. You'll remember the silence, the struggle, the tears. And you'll realize that was the real win all along. The applause, that's just the echo. So don't chase the noise, chase the craft. Get obsessed with the process. Learn, improve, refine. Read, fail, learn again. Fall in love with becoming better every single day. When you focus on mastery instead of validation, something incredible happens. Success stops being a finish line and becomes a lifestyle. Every day you get to wake up and prove the old you wrong. The lazy you, the scared you, the doubtful you. That's the real competition. Because when you defeat that version of yourself, no critic, no hater, no doubter can touch you. Remember, people talk. They always will. But they can only talk from the level they're standing on. Don't climb down to argue. Rise higher. Build something so massive, so undeniable, that their opinions shrink beneath your reality. Let them say you've changed. That's the point. You were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve, to outgrow, to become. Growth is not betrayal. It's the truest form of loyalty to yourself. So keep walking, even if no one's beside you. Keep fighting, even if no one's cheering. Keep believing, even if no one's clapping. Because one day, everything they doubted will become everything they admire. And when that day comes, you won't need to prove them wrong anymore. You'll have outgrown the need to prove anything at all. You'll be too busy living the life they said was impossible. There will come a moment when it all clicks, when every sleepless night, every ignored message, every failure that once broke, you suddenly make sense. You'll look back and realize that the people who doubted you were necessary. They were part of the story. Because without their disbelief, you wouldn't have discovered your fire. Without their rejection, you wouldn't have learned resilience. Without their silence, you wouldn't have heard your own voice. That's the paradox of greatness. It's born out of pain. Every champion you've ever admired was once an underdog no one believed in. They were underestimated, mocked, forgotten, until they weren't. They turned doubt into discipline. They took every you can't and turned it into watch me. And that's exactly what you're doing right now. You see, you're not here by accident. You're here because something inside you refuses to settle. You could have played it safe. You could have stayed comfortable. But there was a whisper in your soul saying, there's more. And you listened. Most people don't. They silence that whisper because it scares them. It demands effort, sacrifice, growth. It demands that they step into uncertainty. And people would rather stay in familiar misery than walk into unfamiliar greatness. But not you. You're not most people. You are the exception. So yes, you must prove them wrong, but not for revenge. Do it to honor the version of you that kept going when no one noticed. Do it for the moments you doubted yourself, but still showed up. Do it for the kid who once dreamed of something bigger before the world tried to talk them out of it. Because that kid is still inside you, waiting for you to finally deliver on that promise, to become who you said you would become. There's beauty in the grind that no one talks about. The late nights, the quiet mornings, the repetition. It's in those invisible hours that greatness is built. Everyone wants the glory, but few are willing to endure the growth. Everyone wants to stand on top of the mountain, but few are willing to climb it. You are. That's what separates you. Understand this, people don't believe in you because they can't see what you see. They don't feel what burns inside your chest. They weren't given your vision. That fire, that hunger, that dream, it was planted in you for a reason. It's not supposed to make sense to anyone else. So stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for a green light from people who never had the courage to drive their own path. You are the permission. You are the signal. You are the movement. Every day you wake up and choose to work, you're rewriting the story. Every rep in the gym, every hour of study, every time you show up when no one's watching, that's a declaration. You're saying, I will not be another statistic. I will not live small. I will not settle. And here's the truth they'll never admit deep down. Your courage scares them. Your persistence reminds them of what they gave up on. When they say you've changed, what they really mean is you grew past the comfort. When they call you obsessed, it's because they wish they had your focus. So let them talk. Their noise is proof you're moving. In the beginning, they ignore you. Then they doubt you. Then they laugh at you. Then they copy you. And finally, they ask you how you did it. So don't waste energy explaining yourself. Let your results do the talking. Let your consistency be your loudest argument. And when you finally reach that peak, when the world sees what you've become, I want you to take a breath. Look around. And remember, it was never about proving them wrong. It was about proving to yourself that you were never broken, never weak, never average. You were simply becoming. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your pain. You are the architect of your own future. And that future demands that you stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop shrinking your greatness to make others feel comfortable. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to stand out. Yes, you will lose people along the way. That's okay. Not everyone deserves access to your next level. Some chapters require distance. Some relationships are seasonal. But what's permanent is your purpose. Protect it, guard it, nurture it, because someday someone will hear your story and it will become the reason they don't give up. They'll see your scars and realize survival is possible. They'll watch your transformation and believe again. That's what legacy is, lighting the path for others with the fire that once tried to burn you. So keep going. Keep pushing. Keep proving yourself through action. Let your success be the storm that silences every doubt that was ever spoken against you. Let every win remind you of how far you've come, not to boast, but to honor the battle it took to get here. There will always be another mountain, another goal, another challenge. That's the beauty of life. The climb never ends. But neither does your strength. You've learned that the only limits that exist are the ones you accept. And you've stopped accepting them. You've become the kind of person who doesn't wait for motivation. You create it. You don't wait for opportunity. You build it. You don't seek permission. You command it. You don't need applause. You become your own validation. So when they doubt you again, and they will smile. Because every time they question your potential, they're giving you another reason to rise. Every word of doubt is fuel. Every act of disbelief is oxygen. You are not chasing them anymore. You are chasing excellence. You are chasing mastery. You are chasing the version of yourself that once felt impossible, and you're catching up fast. One day, you'll look in the mirror and realize you proved them wrong without saying a word. You did it through consistency, through sacrifice, through resilience, through faith. You did it because you refused to quit. So the next time someone tells you you can't, look them in the eyes and say, watch me.